Hey everybody, I'm Adrian Bustamante and welcome back to Food Deconstructed. On this episode, we're deconstructing some of my favorite holiday dishes. And this recipe is something you guys may have seen from us on Access Hollywood Live. It's turkey skin nachos with a green bean salsa and a pumpkin and garlic sauce as well. So the first thing we're going to start with is teach you how to make your own turkey skin nachos at home. So all you're going to do is take your normal turkey leg here. After kind of getting in there with maybe a knife or some other tool, you're going to be able to kind of take the skin away from the actual meat, place it on the sill pad here, or if you have parchment paper at home, you can do so. That's already been placed on my baking sheet. And we're going to salt it just a little bit. You don't want too much. Once that salt's on there, we're going to take another sill pad or some more parchment paper, whatever you have at home, and another baking sheet, and I have pie weights. So we're gonna place that over the top to make sure that just keeps that skin pressed down. At home, if you don't have pie weights, you can just use beans, dried rice, whatever's gonna add a little extra weight and is safe to put in the oven with everything else. So now that that's good, it's really simple. I pop it in the oven at about 450 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes or so. Pull them back out and they'll come out nice and crispy for ourselves. So I'm gonna take these over. Okay, now we do have a little bit of turkey left. Now we're not gonna use this in this dish, but you can use your extra turkey at home you can save it for some stock. You can cook it, obviously, if you wanna barbecue it or use it in any other dishes. That's completely up to you, but try not to waste it. Now, one other thing is you are gonna need a lot of turkey skin to make these chips because they do shrink. So it's really good for people with larger turkeys at home, or if you are gonna buy it in pieces like we did here, you're gonna wanna make sure you buy a few more packages of this turkey if you wanna do it at home. So, all right, now we're gonna make our green bean salsa. Now this is another quick and easy dish at home, and it just takes a lot of the good ingredients that I'm used to having for my normal Thanksgiving or Christmas dinners and combines them into a new fun recipe. So we're going to take some of our green beans, diced up for ourselves, some cilantro. Love the smell of cilantro. Give it that little Spanish flavor. Some tomatoes, and of course, some onions. A little bit of salt. And then I'm going to bring in some limes. You can just do whatever you want. Now, I love the flavor of lime. So you can use as many as you want, but probably going to use about 1.5 limes worth. This side. And the last piece is some olive oil. Now you can use a utensil to mix this all up, but I'm just going to use my good old hands because I feel like everything comes together a lot nicer with my hands. Now we're not making it with any extra spice to it. But one thing you can do if you feel like having a little bit of a spicier salsa is add maybe some jalapenos to it, some serrano chilies, whatever you deem fit at home. But today we're going to go a little bit less spicy than normal. All right, it's all mixed together. And one last piece here for a little acidity, we're going to add some red wine vinegar. Same thing, just mix it up a little bit. Now another thing you can do with this if you really wanted to, make it into more of a smoother liquid form salsa, is you can put it in the blender or a food processor and just mix it up more, but I like the chunks. Just gonna add a little something to our nachos. All right, we are good there. I'm gonna put this off to the side. Now it's time for my pumpkin garlic sauce. Now we have our pumpkin puree, it's about 1 can, some chicken stock, some sage, some nutmeg, some heavy whipping cream, and I've roasted some garlic. Now, this is going to be a great way for this garlic flavor to kind of get mixed up into this puree a lot easier. And a little bit of a stronger flavor too. What I've done is I've thrown this in some tin foil and just roasted it for a little bit in the oven. And you can see it's just nice and soft, and once I put it in this food processor with everything, it'll mix up nice and great. So, we're just going to make this really simply. You're just going to take everything in here and put it in the food processor all at one time. So we have, again, now we have our pumpkin, our sage, about 4 or 5 leaves, some fresh nutmeg. I'm just gonna shave off in here, not too much, probably about a teaspoon's worth of nutmeg. Some stock, that holiday flavor. Some salt. You can run it and kind of make sure that your salt is to taste after it's done running, which I will. Some heavy cream. And some roasted garlic. Now, an easy way to do it to get this out because it's nice and soft is you can take it from the top or the butt of the garlic piece and just squeeze it out. And it should just squeeze out nice and easy if you've roasted it long enough. That's one. Here comes our second. So these are 2 roasted whole heads of garlic. I wanted a little extra garlic, so I made sure these heads were a little bit bigger. Good. Once that's all together, place the top on and mix it all together. You're going to want it to mix for at least a few minutes, and you're going to watch the sides. You'll start seeing that the dark pumpkin color is slowly moving out and kind of a lighter color is coming in. All right, I'm going to taste it a little bit here for myself. It's good. A little more salt. Now it's going to get nice and smooth. It should basically come out of almost a squeeze bottle if you put it in one once it's done. That looks good. Perfect. This is done. My green bean salsa is pretty much done chilling as well. So I'm gonna check on my turkey skin nachos and we'll be right back. All right, our turkey skin chips are out of the oven. It is time to plate these nachos. So take each of these little skins off. You're gonna see where they come out of the oven. They're just nice and thick and very chip-like. So you don't need to cut them. They kind of just form their own shape. So we're gonna kind of try and pile them as high as we can. Make that nacho look. And you can see, I mean, I put a lot of turkey skin on this little baking sheet here, and this is all that came out. So like I said before, these shrink up a lot. So if you're trying to serve a lot of people, you gotta have a lot of skin. All right, so we're gonna take our green bean salsa, just sprinkle it over the top here, get a little bit of that juice. All right. Our pumpkin and garlic sauce. Like I said before, the consistency of it should be so thin that it should just come out of a squirt bottle. And then to top it all off, I'm going to use a little bit of crema or Mexican sour cream over the top. And there you go, just like we did there on Access Hollywood Live, you got your turkey skin nachos. So let's take a bite. It's a good bite right there. It's really good. I love crispy skin, like off of chicken and turkey especially, but that crunch just gives that little flavor, almost chip-like, like we had hoped for. But the mixture of that green bean salsa and that pumpkin just all comes together and gives you those kind of, I guess, side dish type flavors that we're hoping for out of a holiday dish that we deconstructed here. Overall, great dish. Do whatever you want to it at home, make some additions, take away some stuff, but I think you'll be happy with these. Coming up next is our macaroni infused meatballs.